Hi everybody, it's Jill from PragerU Kids. Welcome to our marathon. We've got all your favorite PragerU Kids shows right here, right now. Enjoy. Welcome to Otto's Tales. Story time brought to you by PrEP, PragerU resources for educators and parents. I'm Jill, and today I'm going to share one of Aesop's fables that you might have heard before, but with a new twist. It's called The Tortoise and the Hare. Once upon a time, a hare, a tortoise, and a fox met up to play in the forest. They had been best friends for years and shared countless fun and silly memories from the time when they were very young. Now that they were growing up, they each started developing very different talents. "Look how high and fast you can jump, Hare!" exclaimed Tortoise. Hare smiled. "Yes, I am learning how to hop higher and faster than I ever thought I would," he agreed. "And how wise you are becoming, Fox," Tortoise continued. "Thank you. I am starting to feel more clever with every day that passes," Fox admitted. Like I said, the three had been best buddies for a long, long time. But now, Tortoise was beginning to feel that he moved a bit too slow to keep up with his fast and smart friends. He couldn't help but worry if he was too slow to play with them anymore. "Hey, let's have a race," Hare suggested with a huge grin and a leap into the air. Hare loved to race. "Yes, I can be in charge of the start and finish lines," Fox volunteered. Tortoise felt his tummy flip-flop and ricochet all the way up to the top of his shell. "How can I compete in a race with Hare? Surely they'll both laugh at how slow I'll go. I'll never get to the finish line." Before Tortoise could object, Fox gave his friends instructions and squealed, "Ready, set, go!" Tortoise and Hare were off, hop, hop, hopping and slow poke, poking. Fox dashed sideways through a shortcut to get to the finish line faster than the both of them to fairly determine the winner. And they were off, ahead of Tortoise. Hare looked around and noticed how much tasty fruit and berries the trees and bushes offered on his path. "I'll get some for my friends." He hopped up, out, north, south, all around and roundabout, quickly collecting treats for all of them to enjoy later. He then found himself far off and away from the path. Meanwhile, Tortoise was moving as fast as he could, very slowly, but surely on the course. He was focused and determined to get to the finish line. "Hare and Fox are probably waiting for me, wondering where I am," he thought, uneasy about how far behind he must be compared to them. Tortoise persevered and kept slow poking step by step. Now, Fox was at the finish line, but Hare wasn't. Hare was using his speed to hurdle, skip, and bound through the forest, getting carried away with collecting fruits and berries for his friends. "Good thing I'm fast," he laughed and beamed at the thought of winning the race and giving everyone lunch. Hare then found himself very tired from all of his gathering, so he laid down and took a quick nap, thinking he'd probably finish the race before Tortoise anyways. From around the bend, Fox spotted something in the distance. "Tortoise!" he shouted with joy. Tortoise was slow poking towards the finish line, but with no Hare in sight. "Slow and steady wins the race," cried Fox. Tortoise was gleefully shocked and proud of himself for not giving up. A few minutes later, Hare came springing through the grass higher than anyone had ever seen him bounce before. "I brought lunch!" he yelled. And the three friends celebrated Tortoise's win with more sweet treats than any of them had ever eaten before. The end. Now, this story teaches us a popular lesson about not giving up, but it also reminds us to not compare ourselves to others. The tortoise might have been slower, but because he stayed focused on his goal, he ended up getting there before the fastest of his friends. Hare got distracted, but he also accomplished something else that was suited for his special talents. Talent! Exactly, Otto! Each of us are individuals with our own abilities, and that's a good thing. And we are responsible for discovering what we're each good at and how we can use our own gifts to reach goals in our own ways, even if someone else is faster or smarter. Everyone's path to success is different. Shake, shake. Thank you for watching Otto's Tales. Check out some of our other stories too. Keep reading, keep watching, and always be confident in your own talents. Let me see that move again. Bye, guys. Welcome to Craftery by PragerU Kids. Crafts, history, and your questions. I'm Jill, and today we're making an old-fashioned printer's hat to celebrate America's First Amendment. What? Oh, we've got a question.
What in the world is the First Amendment?
Ah, you're right. I guess I should explain what our First Amendment is before we start. The First Amendment is a very important part of our United States Constitution, which is the supreme law of our country. The First Amendment lists 5 rights that American citizens have. They are the right to choose and practice a religion, the right to speak your mind, the right for press, like newspapers, TV, and the internet, to report on the news and talk about opinions without getting permission from the government, the right to organize with other people, and the right to give the government ideas about how our country can improve the way it runs. To make it easier, we often call these 5 rights freedom of speech. When our founding fathers started creating our United States Constitution in 1787, James Madison made sure that Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or of the press. He personally wrote the First Amendment himself, and we still honor it today. Does that help? Okay, here's what you'll need for our printer's hat. A full-sized newspaper, and that's it. So what does a hat folded out of newspaper have to do with our First Amendment? Well, remember how I mentioned that our press can report on the news and share ideas without getting permission from the government? Printed pamphlets and newspapers were the very first kind of press that shared ideas with large groups of people at one time. And this helped America become a country. Ready to get started? Okay, this is fun. You're gonna love it. What you're gonna do is take your newspaper and make sure that you have the open end at the bottom. Make sure it's creased. You're going to fold the corners down on each side to make a right angle. Then you take this first little flap and fold it up. Once you crease this bottom part, you're going to take the whole newspaper, flip it over, and fold this part in on each side so that it comes a little bit more than halfway across the middle, and crease that. The ink is already happening. You see, the first kinds of printing presses that made newspapers were really messy, with ink getting on everything and flying everywhere from out of the machines. So the people who worked at the printing presses in the 18 and 1900s used to make these kinds of hats on site to wear so that they could protect their heads and hair from getting inky and greasy from all the printing machines. Next, we're going to take these bottom parts and fold another little right triangle on each side. And then take the whole thing and fold it up. And crease it again. Last part, we're almost done. You're gonna take this front piece here, fold it down, crease it, and then take the edges and tuck it in to the crease, kind of like an envelope. Ink check. Take the hat, open it up, my head's too big. Ta-da! That's it! just like the old-fashioned printer days. One of America's greatest gifts is freedom of speech. We can talk freely about any ideas we want without being worried that our government will tell us we can't. And most other countries are not like this. We are so lucky and so thankful. Because of freedom of speech, amazing things can happen. In America's history, freedom of speech helped abolish slavery, gave women the right to vote, and it continues to make our lives better by creating computers and inventions to help everyone, all because America allows us to talk about ideas freely, which leads to change in the world. We hope you had fun. If you've got questions or ideas for our next craftery, send them our way. Keep crafting, keep learning, keep speaking up, and keep celebrating Land of the Free and Home of the Brave. Bye, guys. I'm loving this. Everybody want one?
Ugh, I wish Mom and Dad would hurry up. What is taking them so long?
I just talked to Mom. She said the school board meeting is going long and that you have to be patient.
Oh, I don't want to miss the first pitch. How are you staying so calm?
We go to a couple baseball games every year, Leo. But it is weird that Mom and Dad are going to these meetings all the time now.
Dad keeps saying it's their civic duty. What does that even mean?
I know they're voting on stuff, but I don't really know. How about we keep you from exploding and go find out?
Ugh, good idea. I need to take my mind off missing the first inning.
Okay, let's see what we get with civic responsibility.
Whoa, what are we wearing? This place is cool.
I like my outfit. It kind of looks familiar, but it sort of doesn't. The phone says we're in 431 BC.
I've definitely seen that building before.
Excuse me, sir. Our time machine just dropped us off.
Where are we?
Who goes there?
Leo and Layla, sibling time travelers from the future. Who are you?
My name is Pericles, officially a strategos, like a governor/general. And I've been elected 15 times. But unofficially, I'm known as the first citizen of the greatest city in the ancient world, Athens.
Right, Athens. We're in Greece. Just a really long time ago.
Hold on. Technically, at this time, there is no united Greece. But here in Athens, we're the best city-state among a group of people called the Greeks. Greeks.
What's a city-state?
As I was saying, thanks to the geography around here, a mountainous peninsula surrounded by islands, we're split up into lots of different independent groups that are kinda like a city and kinda like a state. City-states.
Okay, so Athens in ancient times was an independent city-state.
Exactly. And at least during my life, Athens is without a doubt better than all the other Greeks. Greeks, 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 Greeks.
Mr. Pericles, who is that guy?
Don't mind him. That's just a Socrates. He's the smartest man around, but he's a little weird. Some people think he's corrupting our youth, but he'll probably end up being more famous than even me.
So what makes Athens the best?
How much time do you have? I could go on for days. We have the best navy, best art, best sports. I could go on.
Okay, what's so great about your navy?
If it wasn't for our navy, we'd all be speaking Aramaic right now. The Athenian navy defeated the Persians at the decisive Battle of Salamis. It was Athens who kept the Persians from conquering and enslaving all the Greeks. Greeks, Greeks.
And what's so great about Athenian art?
We have the best urns, we've got the best comedies, the best tragedies, the best architecture.
Wait a sec. Didn't the Olympics start here?
They did. And we Athenians are good at wrestling, chariot racing, and the marathon, a race invented by the Greeks. We the Greeks. We the Greeks. But let me tell you kids, the reason we lead the way in all these things, plus education, math, science, philosophy, and music, is because of our government. It's unique and much different from our neighbors. Here in Athens, we have a democracy.
Oh, a democracy. We have it in our country in the future. What's the big deal?
What's the big deal? My blue-haired friend. We are surrounded by kings and queens and tyrants and dictators who rule over their people. No one rules over an Athenian.
But what about you? Aren't you the leader of Athens? A ruler?
I am, but don't be confused. I'm elected into my position each year. The people are my boss. If I don't do a good job, I won't get the votes from my fellow male Athenian citizens.
Hey, what about votes from women citizens?
Believe me, read our comedies and tragedies, and you'll learn women have a lot of influence over Athenian politics and society as a whole. But they cannot vote. Can women vote in your time?
They sure can. Our mom votes. She's with our dad at a political event right now, even.
That's so wonderful. My friend Aspasia helps me write my speeches and is my most trusted political advisor. I sure wish she could vote.
So, Mr. Pericles, you don't think Athens would be so good at everything if it didn't have a democracy?
I don't think, I know. In Athens, we have freedoms unlike anywhere in the world. Having a democracy is allowing our people to thrive. Even Socrates, who was skeptical of democracy, benefits from it being our system of government.
I like Socrates. Why is he unsure about democracy?
Yeah. Looking around and talking to you, it seems like Athens is proving that having a democracy where people vote for leaders and laws is working great.
Socrates believes democracy is only good if the people voting are knowledgeable and will vote with their heads and not just with emotions.
So basically, he thinks voters should be educated, knowledgeable, and get out of their feelings. Sounds pretty good to me.
And it sounds good to me too. Democracy is unique in that it gives people unbelievable freedom, but at the same time requires responsibility. For democracy to be effective, we need voters who have taken the time and effort to know about the leaders and laws they vote on. It's why good schooling and truthful information is so important.
It sounds like living where there's a king would be easier.
In some ways, it would be. Like, you wouldn't need to learn and know anything. But the king might make you work super hard at something that you don't want to do, or force you to do something dangerous. Who knows? You wouldn't be free. Freedom takes work.
Well done, young lady. You understand that freedom isn't free. Citizens in a democracy have a civic duty to be active participants.
Oh, civic duty. Now it all makes sense. Our parents have always voted in national elections.
But now they're getting more involved in state and local elections. They even go to some school board and city council meetings.
Sounds like your parents would make great Athenians. Your family is welcome here.
Do you guys have pro baseball?
Baseball? Never heard of it.
Layla, we gotta get going.
Mr. Pericles, thanks for your time. I learned a lot today and will perform my civic duty by being educated and active once I'm old enough to vote.
I'm going to perform my civic duty by eating 2 hot dogs at the game.
Leo.
Bye.
Eating 2 hot dogs? Socrates, that kid was weirder than you.
Kids who are watching from everywhere, spread the word to your friends. It's nice when you share. And to keep our videos free for everyone, you can make a tax-deductible donation. Download the free PragerU app today. What? Greeks.
Welcome to Craftery by PragerU Kids. Crafts, history, and your questions. I'm Jill, and in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Did you know? Today, we're creating our very own homemade action model of ships at sea in a jar to celebrate an explorer very important to America, Christopher Columbus. Here's what you'll need. A clear jar, toothpicks, baby oil or vegetable oil, I'm using baby oil, blue food coloring, cardboard, white packing tape, and super glue. Be careful with this one because you don't want to get your fingers stuck together. Okay, we've got a question.
There's a lot of explorers out there, so why is Christopher Columbus so important?
Good question, and you're right. There are many explorers important to America. There was one explorer named Leif Erikson who discovered our American continent hundreds of years before Christopher Columbus. But Columbus was the first explorer who opened the New World in the West to colonization. Christopher Columbus was born in 1451 in Genoa, now a part of Italy, and eventually moved to Spain. He learned to sail when he was a teenager and loved being at sea. In the year 1453, Europe stopped being able to trade goods with Asia through an ancient route they used called the Silk Road. So Christopher Columbus thought, why don't I just sail to Asia so we can trade again? He didn't know there was land in the way. Columbus had courage and persistence. After asking many leaders for help, it was King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella of Spain who finally gave him a thumbs up and money to take a transatlantic voyage that set sail on August 3rd, 1492. Columbus took 3 ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. Historians tell us that Columbus's crew spotted land on October 12, 1492. He arrived in the Bahamas, which he thought was India, and named the island San Salvador. Columbus was not a perfect person, but his expeditions to the New World inspired exploration and discovery, which led Europeans to settle on new land that would eventually become our United States of America. That's why, in 1937, President Franklin Roosevelt officially declared Columbus Day an American holiday. Columbus Day is recognized on the second Monday of October. You ready to make Columbus's ships at sea? Let's go. We're gonna start with our cardboard and making the teeny tiny little ship. Take your cardboard, fold it in half. It's kind of firm, might be a little difficult, but you can do it. Right where the fold is, we're gonna draw the shape of a little ship. And then we're gonna cut it out. Make sure you cut both pieces of the little cardboard. So after you cut it, you can see it's a little ship that kind of opens like this, folded at the bottom. Then you're gonna make a little hole at the very bottom where the fold is. So you can stick your toothpick through it. Like this. This is gonna hold your sail. Next, take your packing tape. Fold it into a little triangle. Cut off the sticky parts. Once you fold your triangle, you're gonna make little slits so that you have holes to put your sail through the toothpick. Ta-da! It's a little boat. So I think we should name this one the Nina, and now we have to make the Pinta and the Santa Maria. So now we've got our Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria. And now I gotta go fill this with water. We got water! This is gonna be our ocean. Fill your jar to a little more than halfway because what we're gonna do is drop these ships in here. But first, we gotta make it blue because it's the ocean. A little bit of blue food coloring. Nice. Not too much. Swish it around. That's a pretty ocean. We've got the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. So cute. Once you've got your ships on your ocean, you're gonna add the baby oil on top of it to fill the jar all the way to the top so that there is no air left in the jar. Here we go. Here we go, here we go. It might get messy, but that's okay. So now This is the part for the super glue. Put a little bit of super glue around the jar to seal it shut. You might need someone to help you. And there you have your ships on a stormy sea. This is really cool. It takes a while for the oil in the water to settle, but those ships are sailing. We did it! The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria on the stormy seas, heading for America in your own house. We hope you had fun. If you've got ideas or questions for our next craftery, send them our way. Keep crafting, keep learning, and keep celebrating land of the free and home of the brave. I could watch this all day.
Welcome to Otto's Tales. As a dad, I am so glad that PragerU is making shows and books for kids. Today, we're going to read a story about how PragerU's favorite bulldog, Otto, traveled more than 500 years back in time with his best friend, Dennis. Together, they meet someone very, very special. Want to know who it is? Let's find out in Otto's Tales. Today is Columbus Day. Ruff, ruff. Today is Columbus Day. What an exciting day it's been. We pretended to be explorers and travel the world. Dennis pulled out a suitcase. "This can be our time machine," he said. "Hop in. We're going on another big adventure." With my stumpy tail wagging, I jumped in Dennis's lap. Zoom! "Let's go exploring, Otto, and don't forget the map." We landed in Spain in 1492. Christopher Columbus was about to sail the ocean blue. "I'm a Christopher," he said. "Nice to meet you." "We're Dennis and Otto. How do you do?" "My father was a wool weaver in Genoa, Italy, but I've sailed to Iceland, Ireland, and Africa. My home is at sea." He continued, "I'm going to be like Marco Polo and travel the world." Christopher pulled out a map, which he carefully unfurled. He came up with a plan to sail across the Atlantic. This was no small journey. Its goal was quite gigantic. He said, "I'm going to sail to India by heading to the west." Dennis asked, "How can you be sure that route really is the best?" "I have a compass and quadrant, which I will use every day. These tools will help guide me so I won't lose my way." For his voyage, he could find no eager sponsors. They feared he'd get lost or devoured by sea monsters. King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella finally agreed. They gave me 3 small ships, for which I'm grateful indeed. Dennis replied, "That's a nice gift from the King and Queen of Spain." Columbus said, "It's not just a gift. They have much to gain." We watched the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria set sail. I said to Dennis, "I hope Columbus's voyage does not fail." Then zoom! We were on Columbus's ship, going for a ride. We zoomed so fast, I almost fell off the side. 3 weeks into his journey, Columbus was far from completing. His crew began to grumble and lose hope of succeeding. Columbus, fearless and rather quite confident, helped the men stay the course toward the Asian continent. After 10 long weeks, Columbus finally spotted land. I was so happy, I jumped out and kissed the sand. But this was not India. This was a different place. And there were natives here who were of a different race. The settlers and natives got along quite a lot, but also had trouble with each other, and sometimes they fought. Dennis and I wandered around, enjoying the warm sun. "I love exploring," Dennis said. "This is so much fun." Columbus established a settlement and brought back many treasures. This would open new trade routes and many more endeavors. The king and queen were as happy as could be. "We want to send you on more voyages, not just 2, but 3. The news of Columbus's discovery traveled very fast. People wanted to see this new world with opportunities so vast. This would eventually lead to a wondrous new creation, the United States of America, a mighty, great nation. We said goodbye to Columbus, our new explorer friend. We were learning so much. I didn't want it to end. We jumped in our suitcase, even though I was hesitant, and zoom, went to 1937 to meet the US president. "Hurry, Otto!" shouted Dennis. "There's no time to delay. President Franklin Roosevelt has something important to say." We ran a long way as fast as we could. We didn't want to miss it. This was going to be good. "From this day forward," we heard the president say, "this day in October shall be called Columbus Day." Then we jumped in our suitcase and once again, zoom. We zoomed back to Dennis's room. "That was my favorite adventure yet," I barked. "You say that every time, Otto." "Well, I never knew what an adventurous man Christopher Columbus was." "That's right," said Dennis. "His hard work and perseverance paid off, even though he never discovered a faster route to India like he wanted. But he found something even better," I barked. "Is that why we celebrate Columbus Day?" Dennis explained. "We honor Columbus for his courage, for being the first person to connect the New World to the Old World of Europe, and for making America possible. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't be here," I said. "You're right, Otto. Happy Columbus Day. Happy Columbus Day. Ruff, ruff." The end. What a great adventure! Not only because of the excitement of exploration, but because this story teaches us about courage and perseverance. Having courage and perseverance means that we don't give up, even when we're facing the unknown. Christopher Columbus didn't give up, and because of that, he discovered the New World, which later became America. And that's something we celebrate every year. I hope you enjoyed this book. Check out more videos like this at PragerU.com/kids. See you next time.
Welcome to Craftery by Prep, PragerU resources for educators and parents. We've got crafts, history, and your questions. I'm Jill, and today we're making an American apple pie in a microwave. Here's what you'll need. A round microwavable pie pan, this one's glass, ready-made pie crust, you can find this at any grocery store. And for the filling, you're gonna want 5 to 7 Granny Smith apples, 1/4 of a cup white sugar, 1/4 of a cup brown sugar, 3 tablespoons flour, 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, juice from half a lemon, and for the crumble top, get 1 cup of brown sugar, half a cup quick oats, half a cup cold butter, and a microwave. Make sure you have a grown-up around to help. Now, I know this is a lot, but trust me, it's gonna be awesome. What's that? We've got a question.
Why do people say as American as apple pie? Was apple pie created in America?
Good question. The answer is not really, but sort of. A lot of people see apple pie as representing the American melting pot, which means that people come to live in America from all over the world. And apple pie ingredients come from different parts of the world. Apples come from Central Asia, cinnamon from South Asia, sugar from Polynesia. All these ingredients were transported to Europe during the colonization era, and the Europeans who settled in America in the 1600s brought apples and recipes for apple pie with them. The first known cookbook in America was published in 1796, called American Cookery by Amelia Simmons. It featured recipes for apple pie and made the dessert popular during the 1800s. 100 years later, American soldiers would often say they were fighting for mom and apple pie during World War II. Okay, you ready to start making ours? Let's go. Let's start with placing the pie crust into your microwave-safe pie dish. Go ahead, place it in here, press it in gently, and if you want, you can kind of make it kind of fancy on the edges. Now, take your fork and score the bottom and the sides. That means poke it with a fork. This lets it cook in the microwave a little bit easier. Now you're gonna microwave this on high for 5 minutes and let it rest while you make the filling. 5 minutes, 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Let's check our crust. Okay, it's hot, so you gotta be careful. This is when you need a grown-up to help you take it out of the microwave. Okay, it's nice and cooked. While we let this rest and cool off a little bit, we're gonna make the filling. And yes, you will need a grown-up's help with this too. Peeling apples. Ta-da! After you peel, time to slice. Nice thin slices if you can get it. Beautiful. Mix all the filling ingredients in a microwave-safe bowl with the sliced apples. Microwave on high for 2.5 minutes. Take it out, give it a stir, then continue cooking it for another 2.5 minutes. 1/4 cup white sugar, 1/4 cup brown sugar, 3 tablespoons flour. 1, 2, 3. 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, juice from a half a lemon. So we're gonna stir it. Smells so good. Speaking of apples, have you heard of Johnny Appleseed? Johnny Appleseed is famous for planting over 100,000 square miles of apple orchards across Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, and Illinois during the time when America was a brand new country. His real name was John Chapman, and he lived from 1774 to 1845. His father fought in the American Revolution. Johnny traveled with thousands of seeds down the Ohio River and planted orchards on unsettled land. Now, we aren't really sure why he did this back then. Some say he wanted to help settlers. Some say he did it to earn money on the land he planted on. Whatever the reason, Johnny Appleseed is known as one of America's earliest, most famous farmers. All right, add the cooked apples to the pie crust and then make the crumble top mix. Ta-da! Woo! Last, we're gonna make the crumble top. Mix the dry ingredients together and then smash in small pieces of cold butter. 1/2 cup quick oats, 1 cup brown sugar, 1/2 cup cold butter. Just smash it. Ta-da! Back to the microwave one more time for 5 minutes, and you're gonna wanna check halfway through because every microwave is different. It's hot, but we did it! So you're gonna wanna let it cool for several minutes and then enjoy. That's it, we're done. 15 minutes in the microwave for an American apple pie. A melting pot, if you will. Now be careful, you're gonna wanna let it cool. Let's see if I can get this out in a slice. And even if it's not in a slice, it's okay. A little spilly. It's hot. It worked. It totally worked. As American as apple pie. We hope you had fun. It was actually really good. If you've got ideas or questions for our next craftery, send them our way and send us your pictures if you make this. Keep creating, keep baking, keep learning, and keep celebrating land of the free and home of the brave. Bye, guys. Who wants some? It's actually really good.
What you working on?
Math. You?
A really hard essay. Just math? What kind?
Long division word problems.
Well, just remember the algorithm: divide, multiply, subtract, bring down.
Yeah, I know. Dad, mom, sis, bro. I learned it.
And make sure you don't skip.
Layla, what is with you?
Sorry, I'm just stalling. I really don't want to write this essay.
You love writing. What's up?
It's the topic. Does the American dream still exist? I'm doing research to figure it out, and I found a ton of articles. But I'm not even sure what the American dream is.
Don't they explain it in the articles?
Kind of, but it's confusing. So many different opinions and not a lot of facts.
Well, I can take a break from math. Let's go to the source. Type in American Dream. I wonder who we'll meet.
Yeah, I wonder. Good idea. American Dream. This doesn't look like America at all. The phone says 1784.
Yeah, I don't know where we are.
Waouh, américain.
Allons les dire, Monsieur Franklin.
I think they were French. Are we in France?
To learn about the American Dream?
Hello! I hear we have some American visitors here in Paris.
France. I knew it. Hello, sir. Are you, Benjamin Franklin?
Guilty as charged.
What are you doing in France?
I've been here for a few years now. I was chosen to be the first person to represent the United States of America to the outside world.
Like an ambassador?
Precisely. You two look lost. May I help you?
I'm Layla, and my brother Leo and I are trying to learn about the American Dream. But for some reason, our time machine brought us here.
That is interesting. And I think I'll be able to help, but first, time machine, you say? How fascinating. I invented the lightning rod and bifocal eyeglasses, but nothing as clever as a time machine.
Oh, no, Monsieur Franklin. Your inventions are very clever.
Oh, thank you, ladies. You are too kind.
No, Mr. Franklin, it is you who are too kind.
They love me around here.
By the way, what's with your hat?
Ah, yes, my beaver hat. I don't wear this because I like it. I wear it because the French like that I wear it.
I don't see anyone else wearing one. They like that you're different?
You see, when I first arrived in France, I dressed as you two are now, with the clothes of a polite, fashionable Paris nobleman. However, I quickly learned it was better to dress as the French think of Americans because they are obsessed with our culture.
Obsessed, Monsieur Franklin.
They like that I wear a plain suit, and they love me in beaver.
Ooh la la, Monsieur Franklin.
Why are the French so interested in what's going on in the USA?
Children, I'm not bragging when I say this, but the world is interested in what is going on in the USA. This is because we are trying something that is so different from everywhere else. America is the land of opportunity, a land where individual citizens determine the outcome of their lives. Here in France, if you are born a wealthy nobleman, you will die a wealthy nobleman. If you are born a poor peasant farmer, that is who you will be your entire life.
Wait, here in France, people are stuck doing the same thing their entire lives?
In most cases, yes, especially for people who live in small towns or the countryside, which is most people. There is very little economic opportunity, and unless you are of noble birth, there is no political opportunity.
French people don't vote for their government?
They can't. Young man, at this time, people around the world are ruled by monarchs and nobles who live fantastic lives, and they don't want their comfort and luxuries to go away or even lessen. So they have set up systems of government and cultures which keeps people in their places and keeps them on top.
I wouldn't like that at all.
No, that would be terrible. Sounds selfish.
It is very selfish of the monarchs and nobles to control everything. In the USA, we're trying what is called self-rule, where every citizen is free to build their lives how they want, and through hard work and with sound judgment, they can prosper. This is why so many Europeans are currently dreaming of America. And I predict that eventually ambitious people from all over the world will join them.
So, is the American dream about moving to America?
It definitely can involve moving to America, but the American dream is simply the desire to improve your life through your own invention, and it can apply to American citizens too. Take me, for instance. I was born in a middle-class family in Boston, Massachusetts. I had a pleasant childhood, and my father set me up with an apprenticeship with my older brother. I was on track to have a nice life as a small to medium level printer in New England, but that wasn't enough for me. I dreamed of bigger things, and my American dream got me to Philadelphia at the age of 17.
Did your dad help you?
How about your brother?
Neither. I was on my own. I made the choice to leave the security and comfort of home because I needed more freedom to achieve the heights that I wanted to reach.
So you could have failed, and with no one there to help you?
This is true. The American dream does not promise security, and it does not promise success. It promises freedom. Our young country only gives people the right to pursue happiness. You must achieve it yourself. The American dream requires bravery.
You are very brave, Monsieur Franklin.
So brave!
Oh, ladies, I'm blushing.
I think I know what the American dream is now. If you dream of a better life and have courage to make it happen, then America's the place to be.
Ooh, that was good.
It is a shame that we get old too soon and wise too late. But you, young lady, have youthful wisdom.
Well, you're a good teacher, Mr. Franklin.
Monsieur Franklin is a great teacher.
Are you happy with how your American dream has gone?
Very much so. I might have found happiness had I remained in Boston, but I decided I wanted more than what a life there was going to be. Thanks to hard work and some good ideas, I have lived an incredible life as a printer, a businessman, a writer, a scientist, an inventor, a freedom fighter, and a statesman.
You're still really famous in our time. We call you an American founding father, and your face is on the $100 bill. I got one last Christmas.
And everyone knows about you flying your kite in the storm.
Well, do they know that without Mr. Franklin, there would not even be an America?
Is that true?
Had I not secured assistance from France, there was not a chance that we would have defeated the British and won our independence. They provided money, supplies, troops, and naval support. My job here in France has been arguably as important as even General Washington's.
Mr. Franklin, I know that you're a wonderful example of the American dream, but for the essay I have to write, I need to explain whether the American dream still exists in our time. But how could you know that?
Let's see. Allow me to ask you a few questions. In your time, do people move to America from other countries?
Yep, people move in from all over the world every year.
Our next door neighbors are from the Philippines, and people across the street immigrated from Honduras.
Can American citizens start and own their own businesses?
Yeah, our dad started and owns his own business.
Lots of people do.
Is higher education and certifications required for success?
No.
Our mom went to college, but our dad didn't.
They both have good jobs that they like.
Are any Americans born with fancy titles like Duke, Duchess, Lord, or King?
No, everyone is just born with the name they're given by their parents.
No titles other than American.
But Mr. Franklin, even though we don't have a nobility or monarchy, some people are born into better situations than others. Does that affect the American dream?
Because every human is unique. The natural outcome from equal opportunity is unequal results. Even when treated equally, people don't always end up in the same place.
That makes sense. People have different interests and personalities.
Some will always have less, and some will always have more. What's special about America is that what matters is not where you come from, but where you're headed. Not who you have been or what you have now, but what you can become. That is the American dream, and that leaves me with one final question for you. What type of behavior leads to success in your time?
Working hard.
Being nice to others.
Making smart decisions.
Having good ideas.
It sounds like the American dream is alive and well.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Franklin, and thanks for the work you've done over here in France.
Goodbye, children. It's a tough job over here, but someone has to do it. Come on, ladies.
Ooh la la, Monsieur Franklin.
If you are interested in time traveling again, please subscribe to PragerU.com/kids and watch more of our adventures.
Welcome to Otto's Tales. Story time brought to you by PrEP, PragerU resources for educators and parents. I'm Jill, and today we're reading one of Aesop's classic folk tales about a sneaky wolf, some innocent sheep, and how important it is to look closely at things happening around you. It's called A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. Once upon a time, a hungry wolf was wandering through a wide-open field. He had been traveling for days without food and was more hungry than he'd ever remembered being before. In the distance, he spotted a large herd of sheep. He jumped into the air with excitement. "My chance for some lunch!" he cried. The sheep were peaceful, unsuspecting, and surely unable to run faster than him. He would be hungry no more. He trotted toward the fluffy herd, his mouth watering. When out of the corner of his eye, a farmer and his guard dog started running toward him. "Danger!" they shouted. They chased the wolf all the way down the road and far away from the sheep. The wolf was frustrated, but still hungry and confident with his wits and strength. "I'm not giving up," he promised to himself. "Those sheep look delicious. I'll try again tomorrow." The next day, the wolf approached the herd again. And just like the day before, the farmer and his guard dog chased him even further down the road, across the stream, over the hill, and far, far away from the sheep. The wolf was hungrier than ever now, and was starting to become angry and frustrated. "I will outsmart that farmer and his dog. I will have those sheep for lunch tomorrow." And then he began thinking about how he might be able to succeed. A very clever wolf, he had an idea and created a costume. "This will disguise me perfectly and trick everyone." The wolf sprinted all the way back to the field, looking just like one of them. The sheep had no idea that a wolf was now among them. A little lamb took a liking to the disguised villain and began to play, prancing around through the trees. The wolf's mouth began to water again. Suddenly, a low-hanging branch got caught on the wolf's costume, lifted the sheepskin from his body, and revealed his true self. "A wolf in sheep's clothing!" cried the farmer, and he and his dog chased the wolf away even faster than they had before. The wolf was so startled and humiliated about his failed plan that he lost his wits and ran far, far away, never to be seen near any sheep again. The end. Now, can you guess the moral of this story? Yes! Looks can be deceiving. A wolf who wants to do harm might dress up as a sheep to fool everyone into thinking he's friendly. Now, just because someone looks and seems nice doesn't always mean that they always are. Now, most people are good, but it's our job to always look closely for the truth, to keep ourselves and everyone around us smart and safe. Otto? Is that you? You trying to trick me? I know you too well. Come on over here, boy. You're a good, smart, nice friend. Thank you for watching Otto's Tales. Check out some of our other stories too. Keep reading, keep watching, and keep looking for the truth. Let's get this off of you. That was so much fun! Thank you for joining us. Until our next marathon, keep celebrating Land of the Free and Home of the Brave. Bye, guys.